I mean, I thought that was cool. Um, and I want to talk to kids in the schools.
Yeah, what would you say to kids that are skeptical, thinking about their options going into
Yeah.
young adulthood as career choices? What's your like little elevator pitch or your podium speech you would give to them to maybe turn their heads a little bit towards the trades?
Yeah, I do think about it. And I think about what is going to catch them because I do think it's about catching them and their attention is what I mean, not like physically catching them, but the um I think the path to their heart is money because they want a new iPhone, they want the new shoes, or I don't even know what kids are into and they save their money for now, nails or iPod game or iBox. I
I don't think
mean,
anybody knows.
Nintendo Switch games, iBox.
The iBox is the next thing, I think.
Dude, let's patent that. Let's coin that term or whatever they call it. But I think for me, I'd probably go in and say, "Do you know that you can make X amount of money in this amount of time?" And I think that's a pretty good cliffhanger for them to be like, "Wow, like how?" You know? Um, because you hear of a lot of kids that get in the labor positions that may not ever get out because they don't know that they can move up or it's just naturally kind of happens. But I think you need to bait the hook with these kids and say, here's the path to getting to this salary in 4 years, and you can do it. And so instead of getting a college education, which I'm not saying is wrong, I think that college educations are completely appropriate for everybody that needs it for what they're going into. I'm just talking about the trades right now. But I think that showing those kids, you don't have to go to college and go into debt. You can start working and making money in 4 years. I'll pay for you to go to school for a trade license. And in 4 years, you can get a license. And you could be making this amount of money and you can be leading a crew and you can be doing this. I mean, I I think, with the exception of one, every single person in OmniBuild has been trained to become a foreman or leader. I don't think anyone stepped in the door as a whatever they were before and took that position. I think that we've trained farmers and all different types of backgrounds, office jobs, restaurant jobs, and train them into foreman. And I think it's a cool process.
This is not necessarily the background that matters. Is it more of a mentality
Yeah.
or characteristics that these people can have?
Yeah, it's pretty cool because we interviewed a couple people this week. And one of my foreman slash supervisors was there. And we keep talking, or I keep talking about saying that they need to be there. And he happened to be there. So it worked out good. Because I do think it's important because if I hire somebody that they're working with, it's probably a good idea to have them there, make sure it works. But he said that. He said, "We'd rather hire somebody that wants to learn, has a good work ethic." And a good work ethic could be like getting 16 papers done as opposed to three. It doesn't mean that you're going to shovel crap for uh, 15 minutes faster than everybody else. It's good work ethic it starts meant in your mind. But I think that he said we'd rather work with somebody with a good attitude that wants to learn and ethic than somebody that knows everything about carpentry or electrical or plumbing, you know. And that's what I say all the time. And it was kind of cool to hear it coming from somebody else. And I'm not saying I came up with that philosophy. I mean, we did as a team and a family. But it was really cool to hear it because I think that's how we really feel. We would rather hire younger, older, whatever people that really have a desire to want to learn and do this than somebody that comes in and is like, I've been doing this for 30 years and I'll run circles around everyone in your company. I'm like, you're probably not the right fit. Sorry. Like, we don't work like that. Um, and it happens, and I've tried it over the years. I've tried on we took some huge jobs on, and I took, like, the ultimate experienced person and, just didn't work at all,
Mm.
like, even close to working, and I damaged the relationship, and it sucked, you know, and I shoulda let that go, and I shoulda known from the beginning, and I think I do know when I'm hiring somebody, and whether it's to work for OmniBuild on payroll or a sub, I think my gut knows that nowadays that that's probably not gonna work, and I gotta go with that intuition, I think a little more than I do at times. So, I don't know. I think it's been a bit of a wild week. I think interviewing new people, losing a key employee, um, picking up a potential huge job, going through the list of jobs and seeing how much we need another project manager and how are we actually going to do this year. But the truth of the matter is like people say, how big do you want to get? And I'm like, I don't freaking know. We're just going to keep doing what we can. Um, and every year since the beginning, I say, I don't know how we're going to do all this year. And we do it every year. And I had to start holding some weight with that of like, because I will stress out. Like January, February is brutal, man. We're coming out of winter. We just took 2 weeks off. We paid everybody in the company for 2 weeks off. And when you pay 50 people to take 2 weeks off, it's a lot of money. And when you pay for a Christmas party and a huge raffle and Christmas bonuses, it's a lot of money. And so we take all the money we made all year and do that. And then January and February are like, like insane for me because I'm reeling about how can I get the coffers back up? And then probably by March, April, I forgot about January and February and I'm in the trenches and I'm just working and figuring it out. Um, so, I think it's going to be a really good year. I think we're going to see some new faces. I think we're going to build some new relationships. Um, I've got, um, I've got a very close friend that I work with a lot that we're engaging in a more work related relationship that I'm super excited about. I look up to this person and what he's done and how he runs his business. And for him to say, I want to work with you on some of these jobs, that's like an honor. That's like, wow, I might quickly look at that as like, that's a great business opportunity. But to me, I'm more like, damn, I must be doing something right if he wants to work with me, and it's a cool thing,
Yeah.
and we're kind of uniting the forces, and we're not like changing businesses or doing anything. We're just gonna do some work together. And I'm pretty excited about that, you know. I think it goes back to don't burn bridges, even if you get upset. It's better to think it through and think how you're going to react and what you might say and how that might make that person feel and what you really should say. You know, my counselor used to say all the time, it's an inside job. And I think it truly is at the end of the day. It's all this stuff seems external, but it's always just going on inside me. And what I put out comes from the inside, and I need to address it there first. So,
Or on the podcast.
or on a podcast. Yeah, that's true. I work it out on here a little bit. The more I do, if you like the podcast, I can do some more